Today I woke up to the amazing news that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, or Windsor Mountbatten, whatever the hell, formerly known as Prince Andrew, has been arrested in the UK for his crimes relating to his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. And this immediately made me think of Prince Andrew's infamous interview from 2019, which was televised on national TV, which to me is the cringiest, most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life. And actually, if we go back in time, my friend told me about Epstein in 2018 when we were smoking a joint outside of my parents' house in our hot tub years ago. And I remember him telling me about Epstein in 2018 and thinking, oh, that's pretty weird, but whatever. And then in 2019, Epstein was arrested, and I thought to myself, holy shit, my friend was right. Then Epstein was executed while in custody, unalived himself officially, which we know didn't happen. And I really took a step back and said to myself, holy shit, my friend was like dead on. Like, this dude was just murdered. And then came the Prince Andrew interview, and that all went down. People started to get suspicious, and they were questioning all of these things. And then happened. The world shut down. I mean, it was just such a crazy time. I can't believe we all lived through that. It all went away. I mean, obviously there were more important things to talk about. There were millions of people dying every single day. Thousands, if not tens, hundreds of thousands in America at one point dying every day. I mean, truly horrific death and destruction everywhere across the planet. And the Epstein story went away, and so did this interview with Prince Andrew. But now that we've seen what we've seen, today we're going to take a look back at Prince Andrew's infamous interview with the BBC and kind of go point by point and refute some of his most egregious claims. So, first of all, let's just, I've got some files to back all this up. One of the biggest points that Prince Andrew makes in these interviews, I'm just going to let him say for himself.
Well, I met through his girlfriend back in 1999, who, and I'd known her since she was at university in the UK. And it would be, we were friends because of other people. And I had a lot of opportunity to go to the United States, but I didn't have much time with him. I suppose I saw him once or twice a year, perhaps maybe maximum of 3 times a year. And quite often, if I was in the United States and doing things, and if he wasn't there, he would say, well, why don't you come and use my houses? So I said, that's very kind, thank you very much indeed. He himself, not as it were as close as you might think, we weren't that close. So therefore, I mean, yes, I would go and stay in his house, but that was because of his girlfriend, not because of him. Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Just for the record, you've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes.
You've stayed at his home in Palm Beach.
Yes.
But you were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
You visited Ghislaine Maxwell's house in Belgravia in London.
Yes.
So,
as you can see, he tries to claim throughout all of this that the only reason why he ever went to Epstein's properties or whatever was because he was kind of a loose friend with Epstein. And also, it was convenience. It was convenient for him to stay in Epstein's house. It was convenient for him to use his property. But, well, first of all, in the same interview, he actually says he could have stayed anywhere, but he chose Epstein. And then we know, based on not only accounts from people like Virginia Giuffre, Andrew was most definitely participating in the abuse and of children and teenagers and young women of age. We know that now almost for a 100% fact. Yeah, it's crazy. So we know that Andrew was friends with Epstein because he enjoyed the perks of what happened with him and when he was hanging out with him, which obviously was the fun parties and everything. I mean, the evidence speaks for itself. So right here, here's one of the files. As you can see, this is Prince Andrew right here. This is undated. We don't know when this photograph is from, but he's laying across the laps of 5 young women. We don't know if these are victims or not. There's a 6th young woman up top right looking down at them. And then Ghislaine Maxwell staring at all of them because she's the madam. She was the one who kept all the young girls in line. And then you got the tuxedoed Prince Andrew laying on all of the women's laps like the billionaire elite playboy predator that he is. But totally just because he barely knew Epstein and he just wanted to stay at his houses, right? Obviously, we have also most of us at this point have seen this image, or this series of images of Prince Andrew with what we can assume is an Epstein victim laying on her back on the floor of, I think this is Epstein's New York mansion, with Prince Andrew barefoot hovering over her like a dog, touching on her body. Clearly this is more of a friendship than just staying at somebody's house overnight. I mean, clearly. But back in 2019, that's what Prince Andrew was trying to convince you of. Now, a lot of people took issue with how Andrew referred to Epstein and his actions in the interview. Just take a look at this. How she called him out there a little bit. He acted in a manner unbecoming. Like, yeah, no shit, dude. He was sex trafficking. Like, yeah, that's a little unbecoming. But you could even see that Andrew, during that interview, he didn't want to address what was really going on. He wanted to downplay all the allegations and everything that Epstein was accused of and turn it into something completely different, which I think is just insane. I mean, unbecoming. Why not come out and clearly just condemn the fact that he was a sex predator and a sex pest and you were friends with him? It doesn't help either that Andrew just looks super, super guilty anytime he's around Epstein or at his properties. Like, check out this video of Andrew at Epstein's mansion. Just take a look. So, yeah, he looks guilty. He knows that he's not supposed to be there. Deep down, he probably is freaked out that he's caught on camera there. He knows Epstein just got out of prison for crimes against and minors, and he's there, so he knows that that's not a good look. Now, in the interview, though, Andrew explains why he went to Epstein's house and what happened there. This is a big point of contention. Take a look. So clearly, Andrew's trying to say that he went to Epstein's house in 2010, and while he was there at the mansion, he only went because it was convenient, and he wanted to go in person because he's such a polite gentleman to end the relationship between he and Epstein. He wanted to go in person to end that relationship. Now, I still don't believe that, but if the Epstein files didn't show further communications and interactions between the two, it would be more believable, because you could technically say, yeah, I guess if he doesn't talk to him again, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't believe it, but you could say maybe. But we've got tons and tons and tons of documents. So that's the official story. Andrew says that he ended his relationship with Epstein in 2010, and specifically in the interview, as you saw, he said that he ended it on that walk with Epstein. But, I mean, we know that that isn't true. First of all, just searching for his email, one of his sign-off, whatever call sign you would call that, the HRH, the Duke of York, that's how Andrew used to end his emails. Searching that in the Epstein files, we can see there are 255 results, and it's almost like every single result is from after 2010. So here's one sent to Epstein, I believe, or somebody, 2011. Season's greetings from the Duke of York to Epstein. in 2012. Here's a message from 2011 sent to Epstein from the Duke, which is Andrew. Call me please, in 2011. Here's another one from 2010, Christmas Eve 2010. Can you speak any time from now until later today? That is Andrew asking Epstein to talk on the phone. December 2010, which clearly was after when he said he stopped being friends with Epstein. Season's greetings from the Duke of York in 2012. I mean, there are tons of communications with Prince Andrew after that severing of the relationship in 2010 that are just crazy to me. I mean, it's so obvious that he lied. I mean, and that's just here. I mean, there are other emails that have been leaked that I've talked about previously that show Prince Andrew talking to Epstein in 2013 and 14, and there's an email in a photographer's picture that he took of Epstein that I saw on Instagram where in the background there was a message about the Duke of York or whatever, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, and some money that was being exchanged between Epstein and them, and I think it was like 2014. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's lying, but let's move on. So when asked about Virginia Giuffre and that infamous photograph of Prince Andrew and Virginia, his victim, here's what he... So Prince Andrew is, once again, I mean, he makes a lot of really bizarre claims there. He claims that he's got a weird condition that would cause him to like sweat, that would cause him to not sweat. He claims that there's like a pizza joint that he couldn't have been at because he was here. And it's like the typical, when you confront a liar, they overshare. I've confronted many liars in the past. They tend to overshare and they go into freak out mode and they over-explain and they overanalyze and they provide all these unnecessary details. I mean, this is a thing that you see in true crime all the time with people that are guilty of crimes that are being questioned by the police. Instead of saying, no, I didn't do that. Like, obviously, I was here. I was at my friend's place. They're like, well, at 11:42, I was at my friend's place getting a pepperoni anchovy pizza with peppers on it. And then I went to half a mile down the road to the gas station to pick up some Diet Pepsi and a 12-pack of Diet Mountain Dew. And then as I walked outside, blah, blah. And it's just like that. Andrew's going way too hard on this. And we know that it's true. Everybody knows that it's true. And he's trying to claim that it's manipulated. There's no evidence he's ever been able to provide that it's a manipulated photograph. But what we do see now in the last few weeks with the release of these files is an email that you'll see here on the screen, which is a draft statement that Ghislaine Maxwell was looking at releasing, where she says the allegations made against me by Virginia Giuffre are lies. I believe this is in response to Virginia Giuffre's lawsuit and legal action. They talk about Virginia Giuffre at Mar-a-Lago. She denies as always. But here we go. This is confirming Virginia Giuffre's story, and this is directly from Ghislaine Maxwell and a draft between her and her legal team. In 2001, which is when Virginia's accusation comes from, I was in London when blank, Virginia Giuffre, met a number of friends of mine, including Prince Andrew. A photograph was taken as I imagine she wanted to show it to friends and family. I never asked blank to give him a massage. So right there, we've got confirmation of the photograph being real, which is shocking that she would have even admitted to it. But when you have a lie that you can prove to be false like that with actual evidence, not speculation, you got Ghislaine admitting that the photo is real, and then Andrew lying about the authenticity of the photo. Everything that Andrew says now, you have to question. And I mean, the same with Ghislaine. I mean, she's saying that she never asked Virginia to give him a massage. That's bullshit too. I mean, this is Ghislaine. She's a convicted offender and trafficker. I don't know why anyone would believe a single word that she says. Even if she came out and testified and said that this is how Epstein and I did it and these people were involved and yada yada. I mean, I'd be interested in analyzing it, but it's still going to be hard to believe because of who she is. But regardless, that was a huge point of contention in that interview with Prince Andrew and the BBC. And now it's been proven false, which I find to be crazy. Now, interestingly, something that's become really controversial, and I think this is partially what has led to Prince Andrew being arrested, is a document like this one right here. You can see a guy, Amit Patel, sent it to the Duke, which is Prince Andrew, who then sent it to Jeffrey Epstein. And what these appear to be are reports from then Prince Andrew's official duties as what I think he was the trade envoy. Or whatever they would call that. But you can see here, Hong Kong, October 2010, Shenzhen, October 2010, Singapore, October 2010, Vietnam, October 2010, Southeast Asia visit reports. Here are the reports in relation to your recent visit to Southeast Asia. So these are coming to Prince Andrew, and they are just reports, and I'm assuming summaries of what he did in his official capacities, which clearly is highly confidential information relating to the British UK government that I don't imagine they wanted Prince Andrew just sending to his old buddy in New York City, a random financier who has nothing to do officially with the British government. Well, I mean, obviously he's got a lot to do with the British government. I mean, you could see just typing in here, right here, I've talked about this in the past. This is an infamous picture. This is Epstein and Maxwell clearly at the Balmoral estate, which I said incorrectly before was in England, I think, but it's in Scotland, I've come to learn. But here's the Queen sitting in the exact place where Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were sitting, because this is like the royal family's private estate. I mean, yeah, there were so many connections. The royals who stayed close to Epstein. Oh yeah, there's Mette Marit of Norway. She was close with Epstein. Fuck, damn Norwegians, man. Yeah, I remember we talked about this in a video, actually. There was a girl in one of the files who talks about being able to sit on the throne. I don't know if you guys remember, we covered that in a video months ago. There's also, obviously, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this picture, but this is Kevin Spacey and Ghislaine Maxwell on one of the British royal thrones, or the royal throne. You got two alleged, well, I mean, definitely confirmed, but sex offenders, predators on right there. And then, I mean, this is just crazy to me, like pictures like this. You actually have right here, this is at Prince Andrew's party, thrown by Prince Andrew, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. Can't make this up. Harvey Weinstein is there too. Harvey fucking Weinstein. Oh my God. It's like the Avengers of super predators. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Might as well. I mean, I'm shocked there hasn't been Bill Cosby in any of the files. Actually, shit. Why don't we take a look? Holy shit. No fucking way. Oh my God, Bill Cosby's in the files. Oh my God, Bill Cosby's in the files. No way, I did not expect that. Oh my God, did we just make a breakthrough? I haven't seen this anywhere. I've literally never seen someone report this. Does Epstein want to follow up with Bill Cosby with dinner on the 23rd? There's one of them. Here's another one talking about Bill Cosby's charges sent to Epstein. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, where's he in here? Dinner with Woody Allen, Louis Black, Bobby Slayton invited Bill Cosby. Can he come? Leslie Groff and Epstein. I mean, holy shit. I didn't realize to Epstein subject Bill Cosby. Looks like Cosby wasn't able to come to this dinner in 2013. 2017. House next to your uncle. Might be a good time. Oh, there you go. January 4th. Take this note to Bill Cosby's house. Dear neighbor, Woody Allen, Louis Black, Bobby Slayton are having dinner at my house. Thought you might like to join a neighborhood event. Wow. Bill Cosby. Wow, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Bill Cosby to actually be in there being invited to Epstein's house. But anyways, Harvey Weinstein and Prince Andrew, they're all in one big club. You got the photograph. And then, I mean, throughout the interview, Andrew tries to deny that he kept in contact with Epstein, but there's just so much evidence that he did. And if you go line by line and debunk the interview that Andrew did, I mean, it's just all baloney. I mean, he's sharing like confidential information. All you have to do is just look at that interview with Prince Andrew. Here are a couple more highlights of moments that I think are particularly, they just don't look good for him. And I mean, you can clearly tell that he's lying. So Andrew claims that interview he did not continue a relationship with Epstein. There's even one point in the interview when he says between 2008 and 2010, he had no interaction with Epstein. Well, let's look at the documents. Which one of these do I need to pull up? Oh yeah, here you go. 2009. Here's a direct email from the Duke, Prince Andrew, to Jeffrey Epstein. Dear Jeffrey, I hope you're having a slightly more relaxed Thanksgiving weekend. And then he's asking here if he could stay in Epstein's beautiful Paris apartment again. Wishing you well from the far side of the planet, A. Andrew. 2009, when Prince Andrew said he was not in contact with Epstein. I mean, obviously Prince Andrew's a fraud, but within the Epstein files, there are even darker allegations surrounding Prince Andrew. Like right here, EFTA 00151161. This seems to be an email. I don't know who this is between. Forward, Ghislaine Maxwell. This is 2020. I'm assuming this was a tip. Back in the 90s, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited a girl for a modeling career. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a slave for sex and torture. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death, as he tortured her and me to force her murder. I need to get a passport to identify her. I will need someone to contact the passport office and get an expedited passport. This guy said he called me wanting to give him a secure email address. He's from the Buffalo area, passing this along. So there's an allegation of Prince Andrew participating in torturing someone to death. Then you got like here, these are the holiday cards that were sent to Jeffrey Epstein. You can see there's Prince Andrew. I believe those are his kids. There's another holiday card. We already talked about this. 2011, even though he stopped being friends with him in 2010, of course. Here's an interesting one. This is a transcript from an interview between Jeffrey and Richard. I don't know who the Richard is here. Jeffrey says, right, Katie Couric was here and we were talking about, I want to start cloning things. Me. And with certain people. Prince Andrew got upset because he was all, if it had a conscience, could you kill it for spare parts? And I said, I'll make it without a head. Would that make you feel better? And Katie Couric, I thought, was going to start a vomit. That they may evolve with a head or arms or feet so it couldn't get up and walk away, and did dishes. What? Did the dishes too. But you'd argue over a long period of time, a pressure like the limiting of the pelvic canal could make the brain more efficient, not necessarily a limiting factor. So they're talking about cloning things and cutting the heads off of clones with Katie Couric and Prince Andrew. Totally normal, right? Here is another interview file dealing with Prince Andrew, EFTA 00269904. You can see here, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein traveled to the United Kingdom. You can see here, there's just some allegations about Andrew here. Blank and Maxwell went shopping and purchased makeup, clothing, and a Burberry bag. The items were purchased with Maxwell's credit card. Blank and Maxwell returned to Maxwell's townhome in London, and Maxwell instructed Blank to get ready. When Blank came down after getting ready, she was introduced to Prince Andrew with a traditional English greeting. Maxwell, Epstein, and Prince Andrew talked gossip and poked fun at Sarah Fergie Ferguson's weight. Epstein and Maxwell asked Prince Andrew to guess Blank's age. Prince Andrew responded, which was Blank's correct age. Epstein and Maxwell responded, "You're right there." Prince Andrew had 2 security guards and a driver with him who traveled from Maxwell's residence to Club Tramp in London. Epstein, Maxwell, and Blank, I think this is talking about Virginia Giuffre, traveled to Club Tramp in a separate vehicle. Blank danced with Prince Andrew at Club Tramp and stated he is the worst dancer in the world. Prince Andrew was grabbing her waist and fondling her on the dance floor. Prince Andrew's security personnel were outside the club. It seemed that no one at the club recognized him. They stayed at Club Tramp for an hour or hour and a half and drank a couple of cocktails before returning to Maxwell's residence. Blank had not received any direction from Epstein or Maxwell on what to do with Prince Andrew other than be very pleasant and energetic. After returning to Maxwell's residence, Blank requested Epstein to take a photograph of her with Prince Andrew. Well, there you go. It is Virginia Giuffre. Blah, blah. Blank proceeded with Prince Andrew into a bathroom where they engaged in foreplay. Blank advised that Prince Andrew has a foot fetish and touched her feet. Following the foreplay in the bathroom, Blank and Prince Andrew entered a bedroom where they engaged in blank. Prince Andrew climaxed and departed Maxwell's residence a short time later. Approximately 2 months later, Blank met Prince Andrew again at Epstein's Manhattan residence, where she gave Prince Andrew an erotic massage. They engaged in foreplay, and she provided blank to Prince Andrew until he climaxed. Prince Andrew did not touch her feet as he did during their first sexual encounter. Blank recalled one of Epstein's assistants, blank, being at the residence. Maxwell had purchased a puppet resembling Prince Andrew to give to him as a gift. The group joked after the puppet's hand was placed on one of the girl's breasts, and then Prince Andrew mimicked the puppet by placing his hand on another female's breast. Blank recalled Maxwell joking about trading blank in because she was getting too old. Blank recalled meeting Prince Andrew a third time on Epstein's private island in the USVI. Blank was using Xanax heavily at the time, and her recollection was not clear. She remembered there were many models on the island that did not speak English, along with a modeling person who had an unknown accent. Here's another email, 2015. This is talking about Virginia Roberts, Virginia Giuffre again. You can see this is a conversation between Jeffrey and this guy, Landon Thomas Jr. And he says here, I think the big issue is separating yourself from Andrew, Prince Andrew. I mean, I can see why a statement might help in some way, but it's Andrew, not Clinton and the rest, that is keeping the story alive. Until you are able to come forward and address that, the story lives on. I mean, in the end, he had consensual sex with VR, Virginia Roberts, and VR worked for you. The rest is atmospherics. You have moved on. People don't know that and can't accept that unless you say as much. So, more consensual, more sexual activity of Virginia Roberts, VR. So on the same day that Prince Andrew allegedly was with Virginia Giuffre in London and that picture was taken, this email was sent. And you can see from the Invisible Man, which is known to be Prince Andrew, this was sent to Ghislaine Maxwell. And he said, I will be arriving on the evening of 9th April and in town for 10/11 and then off to Bahamas on 12. I will then be in New York from the evening of 2nd May until the evening of 4th May. Hope this helps Andrew. I mean, how ominous he uses the pseudonym, the Invisible Man. Here's another reference to Andrew from another document. This is from a survivor's, I'm assuming, journal. You can see the EFTA number down there. Prince Andrew, I remember the time Prince Andrew had breakfast with Jeffrey Epstein. Girl, young ballerina dancer, like curtsy way, when Jeffrey Epstein introduced to Prince. Think this girl introduced by blank, unsure. So, Prince Andrew hanging out with young ballerinas. So one more, we got another tip from the FBI. You can see official record. This tip came in 2020. Here we go, 2020. And the text of this tip, remember, this is unverified, but it's just information submitted. It says, when I was 6 to 8 years old and living at blank, I was drugged at night and driven by my father blank to ring parties. The main house I was taken to is located behind blank at the end of a private road. Blank is next door. In the driveway of this house, I was hit by a dark blue car with a personalized license plate ending in D0Y, driven by Prince Andrew. I was not taken to hospital, but I suffered permanent injuries to my ribs, hip, and leg on my right side. The car's hood figurine broke off in my hand on impact, and I later buried it near my home so it could still be recoverable as evidence. After I was hit by the car, I woke up to Prince Andrew forcing his mouth on mine and pushing my legs apart. He raped me. In that house, I was also sexually tortured with household tools and penetrated with a beer bottle. I have medical records of the resulting infection. I once ran away from the house naked and made it to the blank community down the road. I remember seeing and speaking to a man, so I think that there may be blank living in the area who could corroborate what goes on there. I was also taken to another house that I later recognized as blank. There, I was restrained on a table and tortured with electrical shocks by Ghislaine Maxwell and surrounded by watching men. I remember seeing Prince Andrew's face. After being raped by another man there, I tried to sneak out. Maxwell caught me and beat me with the bristle end of a broom. She penetrated my vagina with the handle of the broom. She also threatened me, saying I deserved to die, and hit me in the face with the broom, breaking my nose. I was only taken to the hospital for the broken nose after a rugby match so that the injury could be blamed on that. So, obviously, absolutely horrific allegations there. But at the end, it's interesting. This victim reported that there's another girl that she knew that the FBI could potentially talk to because she was at the parties. When asked about this corroborating info, she says, I also remember another victim being blank. She's a year younger than me, so she may have been as young as 5 years old at the time. Afterwards, she was taken out of an affluent private primary school and sent to the worst school in the area where my mother worked. That was where I first recognized her, even though we had supposedly never met. She was put in a class 2 years ahead and then went to the same secondary school as me, blank, a year before I did. We have never once spoken. Blank is the daughter of blank and my childhood friend. I remember blank was at some of the parties with me, and I remember us once hiding behind a drape together. However, we have never discussed it, so I don't know what she remembers. Another tip that wasn't properly investigated that we have no answers on, but we might have some soon. I mean, you never know. But yeah, this story is rapidly evolving, and there's so much going on here, guys. I don't want to take up any more of y'all's time, though. I just had to get on and talk about Prince Andrew because holy shit. I mean, he's in cuffs. Well, I mean, I just saw that he got out, but I mean, I'm hoping they hold him over the fire and they roast him until he starts talking, because that's hopefully the domino that leads to more prosecutions. And now we need to bring that energy here to America. Anyways, if you've enjoyed today's show, please be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Support me in any way you can on that end, because if you like and comment, it's free and it helps so much. You can also get access to the uncensored version of the show on Patreon if you want to help support the show in that way. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Keep that tinfoil hat on. Always stay suspicious. Question everything. And I'll see you next time.